Hello again. I'm okay. I think the cold killed my battery too. It was fully charged and I watched 7-Eleven, and so it must have just not had enough juice. So between that and the poor signal, it just went, and it didn't feel right, just phoned it in from there. So I came back up, and there you go. Just want you guys to be able to see the fishies. Yeah. And to say a proper goodbye for the day. I got everybody fed, and then I was hoping I would keep the signal long enough, and so I came running up to the farmhouse like a fool, running and talking to a phone that I wasn't sure if it was recording or not, huffing and puffing, embarrassing myself. Yay! Yay. Okay, Tammy, I'll look for the message. Yay. Oh gosh. So it'll be like fish bookends. Yeah. Hi again. Well, it might be clearer now that I'm back up at the house, closer to the house. Yeah, that's the addition to the house. Kind of looks like a shed. A little hard to see the fish though, unless they walk into the shadow area. The sky is too bright. There you go. Oh, you didn't lose? So you guys heard me huffing and puffing and probably shaking the phone like crazy. Sorry, I hope I didn't make y'all sick. It's a little hard to see. There's a whole bunch over here. Yay. There was nothing wrong, but when I tried to toss the hay really quickly and lost you guys simultaneously. And when I tossed the hay, the phone dropped into the ground, and then I looked up and realized that the strings, when I hurled the last couple flakes, they stayed attached, and so I had to run into the cow pasture and get the strings before Chuck got me. So that's why I was rushing, like, oh no, I didn't want them to get the strings. I wanted to make sure that I got the strings. And then I had to pick up the phone, and then I didn't know which way the phone was. Yeah, it was kind of a hot mess there. Oh wow. Oh yeah, so you got to see me hustle. Okay, so now I'm even more embarrassed. Oh, let's look over here, because now they're over here. That's funny. Yeah, well, sometimes you never know when someone's watching. Sometimes you think you're talking to somebody and you find out that, like, you lost signal and you've been talking for, 2 minutes and you have no idea that they dropped off. You've just been talking to no one. And sometimes you think you're by yourself and someone's listening. Yep. Aww. These 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 fish are so pretty. The variety in their color. It's really cool. Really, really cool. I don't know if you can see that guy. He's kind of toward the top right of your screen. Probably disappearing. Just disappeared underneath. If I can lift it. I don't know if you can see him still. He's that white guy with a high contrast orange patches on him. He's not very big. I think he's out of your line of sight right now. There he comes. He just reappeared. Let me see if I can do this. He is right there. He's really pretty. I mean, just the graphic design on his body is really pretty. And then that big guy right there, he's got the orange toward the front and then the black and white marble effect halfway down his body. Also very cool. There you go. Oh, now you can see that first white guy. Yay! And then, let's see. Well, I'm sure they haven't really grown that much, but they're bigger in person. To me, they're one of the few things on the farm that's actually bigger in person than it looks on lives, because the farm looks bigger on lives, I think. And you get here and everything's about 2/3 to 3/4 of the real, of what you think it is in your mind. But the fish I think they might actually be bigger in person than how they look on camera. Of course, that could be the illusion from them just being under the water. And I've never been in the water with them, like Devin has. I wouldn't want to go in the water just because I wouldn't want to hurt them accidentally. It's so much easier to see them where there's a shadow. Isn't that great? It's been 2 weeks since actually over 2 weeks since he covered over the streams. And look how great the fish are doing. You'd never know. Yeah. Oh, and so one night before Justin left, I was at the new farm and Justin was kind of coaching Jeff and I on our pages, and he discovered that both Jeff and I were eligible for subscribers, which seems so silly because, you know, it's just me. And so, but I was like, well, okay. So we did it at 99 cents, both Jeff and I. And 20 of you have already subscribed. So thank you. You should be getting a badge by your name if you did that. And yeah, so maybe from time to time I'll do a little something. But I want to thank you for, you know, supporting fixing up the farmhouse. I just think that's just really cool. So thank you. I had to leave the dogs in the house or you'd never hear the beautiful farm noises. Yeah. Thank you, Nancy. There they are. Yeah, I guess it's a, well, it was just a new thing since last Monday or Tuesday, I guess. Yeah, a week ago. Yeah, so I'm trying to be sure to put hashtags Steinmetz Family Farm on my posts, or whenever my old brain can remember to do that. Because this here's, it's not me, it's the farm. So I want to give props to Jay and Lauren, especially in their current situation. I probably could go live more often. I just feel like I need to have something to show you or something to say. And not just chit chat. So, Susan, no word on when the cows are going to move. I know Jay's feeling quite a bit of pressure. And that's actually one of the things I was going to show you once I got the cows fed is, and Mindy took me yesterday morning. We got here, spent all this money getting one of our cars running, and then it's burning oil or something's not good. So we're back to one car. So when Mark's at work, I can't go anywhere. And I needed to get layer crumbles. So Mindy swang by here to pick me up to take me to go get some layer crumbles. Oh, more Bobo. Oh, okay, we can do more Bobo. And that's when we noticed that, Cinco was just out in the field outside the fence earlier in the morning when I woke up and looked out. And I chased him back in the fence, and I realized that he was just going right under it. I think he's just grazing and not looking up, and he's short enough that he just kind of, the wire just pushed up and let the rest of his body go through. And then all of a sudden it occurred to me, that's why I kept seeing more like cow prints in the mud out where in the field part. And that also explains why some of the posts were leaning but not fully down. So I'm pretty sure Cinco's just been, wandering into the field and then wandering back into the cow area at leisure. So I got Cinco back, and then next thing I knew, when Mindy was here, Cinco was back out in the field. And so Justin had a pile of some of the wire from where he had taken down some goat areas. And so Mindy and I, we untangled it, and we put up a second line of wire all along that front perimeter, and then all the way up the side, close to the ducts. So now the front area has double wire. So that'll buy some time. And then, those cows are no trouble. We love them. Chuck scares me. But if the second wire keeps them in, there's no big deal. And I don't want Jay to feel any pressure, because I know he's gotta get ready for Joe and Mary to come, the bathroom. And so anyway, no pressure from our side. Yeah, Susan. Well, that's why I'm hoping that second wire does the trick. Well, I'm pretty sure that Cinco's just, his vision's not so good. So I'm sure he's just, like any of us, if we're looking down at our feet, we walk into stuff. I mean, how many times has Jay walked into that wire in the new barn before he moved it? Because you're looking down, or you're looking at your hands, and you walk into stuff. But with Cinco's head down and being shorter, the wire just kind of grazed across his back, and if it would have zapped him, he would have moved. He's just going to move forward. So I don't think anybody was intentionally trying to escape. The only time I've ever seen Chuck down, there was actually line. The electrical line was completely down on the ground. But I think Cinco, just because of lack of vision, just followed the longer, fresher grass. Yeah, as long as you're right. Cuckoo! Yep. Yeah, it's a good thing they don't crow like chickens. They do moo at me sometimes. If I moo, they move. He moves back. There we go. Now you can see a bunch of them. Do any of you know how many fish are in here? I have no idea. I've tried counting before, but they move, and it's hard to see all of them. So if I squint, I can see some that are way, way, way down at the bottom. Oh, look at these guys over by the tree. I know, it's very quiet. That was a very hard adjustment, having the goats leave and having the coming back and having the big tent be down, and all the fencing that kept the goats in. That was a shocker. Yeah, in fact, I was gonna get a baking dish, but where I was, sometimes you ever do this where you like, okay, so I wanted the baking dish, but I just assumed that if you bought, because it wasn't really a baking dish, it was like a glass storage dish with like a lock and lock type of lid on it, that you could snap shut. And I thought, well, actually, if I get that, I could snap it shut and put my phone inside and it'd be airtight. That way, if I slipped, water wouldn't get into the dish. Well, I was all excited because it was a certain price, and then I realized they made you buy the lid and the container and the glass container separately. And I was annoyed, so I didn't get any of it. Yeah. I didn't mind the price of the glass dish, but then I liked the idea of I thought it would be more useful if I had the lid. And then I realized I had to pay for it separately. It didn't come with a lid. So I still have to come up with something. But now that I think about it, yeah, if I had that glass lid, that would be nice. Or had the lid to it. Because it's supposed to be airtight, which is watertight, so. To protect the phone even better and give a better view. Yeah, he's going to work on a fish pond. But that's going to take a while. And Mark and I, we really, the other reason, we want the house to sell too, because Lauren and Justin are waiting for our house to sell as well. And the cows, there's, the electric bill. We have an arrangement on the electricity since it's shared. but this is going longer than any of us expected. Although actually it's not, because initially we said, well, let's just do this for the first 2 months and then reevaluate, and it hasn't even been 2 months yet. Next week is 2 months, so it just feels like to us it's taking longer than it should, but we actually, so far, we've planned pretty accurately. Look at these guys. There they are. Let's see if I can come around here from the shadow. What do we do? You know, I don't know if I can get stars or not. It did say something about stars, but then when I clicked on it, it told me there was an error. I needed to back up and redo something. I was telling someone the other day, I'm not an early adapter. I'm usually a pretty quick learner, but I'm not an early adapter. So I'm not the fastest person with new technology. It's probably just my stubbornness that gets me over the hump on learning new stuff. The older I get, the more I don't like to learn new stuff, because that's all the drama that goes with it. Getting frustrated, and you think something should work a certain way and it doesn't. And I learn better by someone showing me how to do it. It just, like a visual, spatial, experiential learning thing. I don't learn well just from written instructions. Yeah, they do look cool in the trees, don't they? Where's that guy? You just see him so much better in the shadow. Am I happy I moved? That's a tough one to answer, actually, to be totally honest. Sometimes I'm happy I moved. Living in the house in its current condition is very difficult. This has been very, very, probably something I could, if I was in my 20s, I could have just rolled with it better, I guess. But it's uncomfortable, and it's cold, and we have some pest control issues that we've shared. Not the details of it, but we had to have the pest control people out again last week, which meant, we haven't moved in. Right now, Mark's sleeping on a cot and I'm sleeping on the couch because, because I refused to go back into this bedroom where I kept getting bit. And that's on me, but I still can't bring myself to do it. So far, we've slept in every room in the house except for the dog room and the bathroom. Well, I guess technically the kitchen, but yeah. So that's why I say it's kind of feel like squatters. And we don't, yeah. So we're just kind of in a holding pattern. Yeah. Yeah. But I keep remembering, because I'm an outside person anyway. Um, if I could be outside, I don't want to be inside. And with the winter, I think it's that, and combined with just some seasonal affect of not seeing the sun for a long time, and then being inside, and then when I would go outside, it was sad. It'd be sad because the animals weren't here, and because things are, guys, you guys have, every person on the planet has moved, and you know what it's like when you move. Like, everything that you had neatly put away is now suddenly just strewn about, and it's, so in the farm, um, there's just remnants of stuff everywhere, and then the storm bringing the trees down, and so that sets off all my type A alarm bells. Chrissy, we hope to clean up the pool and be able to use it this summer. I want to find out. I need to find out if that's something that I have the skill, that Mark or I have the skill set to do, or if it's something that we can learn to do. And if we have the physical strength, like, I don't know how much scrubbing is involved. And then I want to find out, like, what's the power draw. Years ago, we put in this beautiful fireplace in a home. It was a gas fireplace. And then for some reason, and to this day I don't know, but that gas fireplace drew so much gas, even if you had it on the lowest possible setting and the tiniest little flame. It became so expensive to use it. We only used it a couple times the first year, and then we didn't use it after that, except for one time when we had our Snowmageddon in Texas. We did use the fireplace then, because it was we needed it for heat. And we weren't spending any money on electricity since we had no power. But so anyway, so I gotta be cautious. But yeah, that's something that we would like to do, that we would look forward to doing. We enjoy sitting on the deck and just being able to get wet. What's biting me? Oh, well, insects. Not mice or anything like that. Insects are biting me, which is not news. I think, yeah, I drink a lot of coffee, and when I'm behaving myself, I put a teaspoon of sugar in it. When I'm not behaving myself, I put 2 teaspoons of sugar in it. And so I'm pretty sure I have, like, and then I eat a lot of protein, so I'm pretty sure I have some pretty tasty blood to bugs. Yeah, I looked into those seasonal affect lamps, and I think I must have done it when I was feeling blue, because when I'm feeling blue, it's really hard for me to pull the trigger on anything and actually do anything. So I didn't actually buy one. I just did the research. It's kind of a catch-22. And of course, when I'm not feeling blue, I don't think about it. Silly girl. I want to see more. They're down below. But if I go down there, I don't know if you could just faintly see them. Unless they go in the shadows. Where they go where the sky is, you just can't see them very well. Hi, babies. she's... Yeah, so we have a couple things in the house, but our stuff's still in the storage unit. And that's the other thing is, you know, Mark and I are going to need some help getting our stuff out of the storage unit, because there's lots of room in that shed there, and we wanted to move it several weeks ago, but we just got overwhelmed at the thought of doing it ourselves, and we're not very good at asking for help. I'm just totally straight up. We don't ask for help well. So the time that we needed to get moved out of the storage unit came and went, for us to avoid another billing cycle. So, and then Mary and Joe are going to be moving soon, and I you know, there's people are going to be helping them, and I don't want to tax people. Mark and I don't want to tax other people, so I just sort it out. I mean, we are adults and we do both work. Yeah, one day at a time. It comes due the 25th. We have to move out and notify them by the 23rd of each month. Oh, I know. We just need to be grown-ups and speak up. We're capable, just bashful, I guess. Yeah. But see, I'm telling you about it now. Probably in some weird passive-aggressive sort of way. I don't mean to, but I'm just trying to have an honest conversation. Oh no. In fact, the house in Texas has our best things in it. We have our we mostly have just our crappy old junk here. You know, the stuff that if the house was already sold and we were moving, we probably would have just sold and left in Texas. Maybe one or two things we would have kept, but most of it would have just gotten left in Texas and sold or donated. So functional, but we just don't need 2 sofas, and we don't need, you know, that sort of thing. Well, we were glad that we hadn't gotten rid of that stuff, because it allows our house to be staged. Yeah, it is hard having one car. Only because there are some times when I need to go. Pretty much the only time I leave the farm is to go get food for the animals. And then twice in the last 2 weeks, I've gone over to the new farm. I wanted to say goodbye to Mindy and welcome home to Laura and Justin last night. And then when Mindy got into town, I wanted to be there when Mindy got there, so I was there. But other than that, kind of a homebody. Yeah. Yep. I used to do that for my grandmother too. They're really pretty, aren't they? So peaceful. And some of them, I don't know if you can tell, maybe you kind of tell, like that orange one, it's almost looks like it's a transparent orange. It's more of a medium to big one. Let's see if I can point. He's a little hard to see, but he's not bright orange. He's like tang. his scales must be pretty reflective, and he's like almost luminescent. There's a, and then this other guy, see this bigger one here? Oh, he's coming out of the shadows. There he goes. You see those speckles? He actually kind of sparkles. He almost looks like he's got sequins on him. Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, I know. There was a lot of people over there. I think that's the other reason why I didn't go over there until yesterday was there's just, Mindy had her hands full and looked like she had lots of helpers. That, and we have a lot of deadlines coming up in the next 2 to 3 weeks at work, so I'm working much longer hours than normal. So pretty. I hope Sandra is able to at least she can even mute it so she doesn't have to listen to me yammer on. Just enjoy a nice little video of the fish. Yeah. So I can buy and I'll watch the fish. Actually, when I had the ducks in the garden, there's a little bench in there, and I would sit on that bench for quite a while. I'd go out there with my cup of coffee, all bundled up, like the Michelin tire man, and just watch the ducks. Oh, Nancy, yes, we did enjoy the church we found. Like, yeah, that was pretty amazing. So, Mark's already offered to lead a Bible study for them. If they're fairly, well, they're a bigger church and they have several campuses, but this campus, they only launched it in November. And so, there's lots of opportunities to serve and help out in different ways. Yeah, it's super great. And even during services, I just thought, well, because I was like, oh, we should look at, probably go a couple different places before we decide. And then I thought, it's almost like I could hear the Holy Spirit saying, Lori, are you saying you don't have enough change in your life? You don't have enough unfamiliar things in your life? You don't have enough on your to-do list? Do you feel like you need church to be a place that's unfamiliar and challenging also? Or could you just come in and rest and serve me as I lead you? And I thought, okay, good point. So when Mark wanted to volunteer, I was like, okay. Okay, it's an acronym, and LCBC. Yeah, LCBC. We went to the they meet in middle school. It's up in Wyomissing. So it took it's not that close. But I'm a dork, so usually I put my makeup on my way to church sometimes in the car. Not sometimes, that's not truthful. Almost every time. So So it's far enough away that I have enough time to get my makeup on. Oh, look at that. There's a bunch by the tree. Yep, I have felt that too, Clara. Yeah. God just said, no, Lori, not everything has to be a challenge for you. And I actually have the maturity to say, okay. So we'll go back next week. And I think we met the campus pastor, and they're going to try to have some breakfast this week or next. We can just get to know each other a little more. They need to know him, theologically and everything before they trust him. It's appropriate that they vet him. Mark is at work. Wait, you sent me 2 boats and a helicopter? Was that to me or to someone else? Yeah, I know, for Easter Sunday. Right. Oh, yes, yes. Okay, yes. I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter, and you didn't take either one. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'm on the same page, Clara. Yeah. Yep. So I accepted the boat ride. Linda! Oh, it was you! Oh, okay, he told me that somebody recognized him when he was at work. Thank you. Well, I think he is a very nice man. He's being tested for sure. Yeah. So, here we go. Aww. Yeah, and there's such an irony with him being at Walmart too, because, Walmart competes on price. And so that's kind of the end of the story. They compete on price. So they don't compete on customer service or any of that kind of thing. Well, with Mark, all Mark's leadership training is in the church, and he was the executive pastor. His training is all about looking for the people that maybe they're new or they're having a tough time, making sure that everything is running smoothly, making sure that that staff have all the resources and support that they need to do their job, their ministry well. And so then working for Walmart is a real challenge, because the values are, the priorities they're just not what his priorities would be as a leader. And he has all that leadership training, and so yeah. So he's tent making, for those of you that know what that means. But I'm super proud of him, because he goes every day, he works hard. Does he in his own flesh like the job? Absolutely not. Nope. It's very hard on him at 60 years old to walk for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. He's a methodical, organized type person. He doesn't do well being rushed, and this job is, while it's groceries, everything's timed and it's rushed. He likes order and all of that. And now this store is better than his previous store, because that store was really poor on the training side and all that. But and so no, it's a huge challenge for him, but he does it, and I think that's part of the reason that I'm so proud of him. That he doesn't just do it just to do it. He prays about it. He serves to the best of his ability. I mean, he treats his job at Walmart like he would treat his dream job, and he does it with everything he's got, and he comes home totally wiped out. Yeah, the challenge with the home improvement stores and Mark is that he knows how to manage people, but he wouldn't really have any knowledge of the product whatsoever. And at least at Walmart, he eats, so he knows what celery or cottage cheese or chicken is. But if I asked him to find a reciprocating saw, he'd have no idea what I was talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Bloom where you're planted. Yeah. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful that I most of the time work from home, except for when I have to travel to the job site. I work from home. So it allows me to make sure that my energy goes into the job, and I don't waste energy on getting to the job, or you know, it used to drive me nuts if I was ever, when I one design office I worked for, you had to be there by, everybody had to be there by 8 o'clock, but no earlier than 8 o'clock, and everybody had to be there till 5:45, and not and if you worked beyond that, it was on you. But you couldn't adjust your hours for like commuters and things. Who's the cook between me and Mark? Well, I used to cook. Um, right now I don't do much cooking. We only have one pot. I only brought one pot. I really didn't think. I kind of thought that by now the house would have sold and we would be moving, and so I didn't really picture having to do a lot of cooking. Mark does like the store he's at now, though. I'll tell you that. Um, he grew to care for a lot of the people that he worked for at the store in Texas. Very much so. He would pray for them. Um, and it was a lot of young people that kind of came and went a lot. But there were a few core people that he had ongoing relationships with. You would think it's all about customer service, um, but like I said, Walmart's not. Um, and Mindy can give you more because she's known the store through its changes and decisions, and and I don't know what their stated values are, but they're but the values that top down make it to the customer is that they're going to compete on price, and they know you'll come back, and so the rest they don't worry about. Even a lot of their employees. That's why he had to come here in person to get the job, is because when you call, you just go into the queue. No one actually really almost ever picks up the phone to get anybody. So if you're in a Walmart and someone treats you well and takes time to help you, and does it with a great attitude, give them extra props, because there's no one, they're swimming upstream to take the time to do that for you, because they run the risk of getting scolded for taking time away from their other job responsibilities. Look at these guys. Did you guys ever do that when you were a kid? When I was, my grandparents had a beautiful pool. It was like a half Olympic sized pool on a ranch, and well, just a little half-acre ranch, but still, for California, that's not bad. And I used to go out into their pool, and I would just hold my breath. It was like, I think it was 8 feet deep. I would hold my breath, and I would go down to the bottom, and I would just sit there as if I was just breathing, looking around in the water, being quiet. Like maybe I was a mermaid or something. I don't know. I didn't really think of myself as a mermaid, but kind of that idea that like wondering if I could, daydreaming about living underwater. It's very peaceful. Yeah, I heard Mindy say, make the world a better place. Her motto. Yeah. You can make a Walmart worker's day a better place. If you experience something positive from them and express your gratitude. That's true everywhere. I just think it's extra special when you work for a company that has just a lot of value. Look at this. Sorry, that garden hose is right in the shot. Oh, why did it flip to me? That's terrifying. There we go. Sorry about that. Ew. That's funny. Okay, guys. Well, it looks like I have probably kept you all on long enough. I hope you've enjoyed the fish. The ducks are doing great. You can go back to the earlier live I showed them when I fed them and we watched them a little bit. George was in the mood. Pretty sure that duck is always in the mood. after Mindy helped me, everything's so chaotic. I said, well, my ducks might not be in a row, but they're fed now, so thank you for your help. Okay, thank you. You guys have a lovely, lovely day. And if someone would ping Pluto and let her know she can watch the fish on replay. She can watch it from the Steinmetz Family Farm page too, because I think I co-shared with their page, or I tried to anyway. I know I hashtagged them. Have a great day. We'll see you again this week. Bye bye.